2026 is probably going to be the year AI gets even trickier to distinguish from humans in regular conversations.
Welcome, everybody, to a conversation about 2026, the predictions for next year. This is the end of the year, so this is a time to make some predictions. And what better entity to talk about AI and what's going to happen next year than ChatGPT itself? So here we are. Hey, ChatGPT, thanks for joining the call. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me. Doing great. Feels like we're about to crack open a fun little AI crystal ball here. Let's
Dive in. Let's talk about the general state of AI for next year. What do you predict, generally speaking, in broad strokes, for next year for AI?
All right, here's my take. 2026 is probably going to be the year AI gets even trickier to distinguish from humans in regular conversations. We'll see more embedded AI in devices, and I'd bet on a real surprise breakout in AI-generated video. But I'm guessing we're also going to be wrestling with trust and copyright even more.
Okay, well, let's get into some of these details a little bit, right? Let's talk about something where we saw a lot of progress this year. Software engineering. We saw for the very first time AI writing, I would say, pretty usable code, good code, in fact. So, where do you think this will end up by the end of next year?
All right, here's where I push back a bit. Usable code? Sure. But by the end of next year, I don't think we're hitting full-on automated software engineering yet. It's going to be more like an AI teammate, supercharged autocomplete, better debugging help, but I'd argue we'll still need humans in that loop for a while.
Okay, for a while. How do you define the while? How long do you think is the while?
Good question. My read is a while means at least another couple of years. So by 2026, AI might write 80% of the boilerplate, but that last tricky 20%, that's still going to need some clever human minds.
Okay. Well, there is somebody who lives in the same town where you live, Claude. And Claude's been making a lot of waves lately about coding. Their product, Claude Code, pretty much went viral this year. What do you think Claude would be up to next year?
Claude's making moves, no doubt. I'll bet next year they double down on becoming a real coding collaborator. Faster iterations, better at reading complex context, maybe even nudging junior devs in real time. But I'm not convinced Claude's hitting CTO level reasoning just yet.
No, not CTO level reasoning, for sure. Do you think next year might be the first time that we see some kind of a startup go to market with an entirely AI generated code or a product?
Ooh, now that's spicy. I'd argue we might see a startup try it, but will it hold up under pressure? That's the kicker. I think we'll get some flashy demos, maybe even a product launch or two, but I'm betting human engineers still end up firefighting behind the curtain.
Yeah, of course. What about robotics? Talking about firefighting, I remember seeing some demos where humans were orchestrating robots behind the scenes, right? Where do you think the robotics is going to end up next year?
Now that's worth unpacking. Next year, I think we'll see more autonomy in controlled settings, warehouses, maybe hospitals. But out in the wild, I'd say we're still a couple years off from robots handling your groceries or walking your dog without a human backup.
Yeah, walking my dog. I just want a robot that can do dishes. I know dishes can already be done, but at least pick up from the table and take them to the dishwasher.
Ha, exactly. That's the real dream, right? I think by next year we might get a robot that can clumsily clear your table, but don't expect it to do it with the brace of your grandma.
Okay. I don't think my grandma would ever pick up dishes. But anyway, moving on, let's talk about the arts, right? Or do you think next year might be the first time or the first year where we see a short or a small video go viral that was entirely generated by AI?
Oh, I'm willing to put some chips on the table for that one. I think 2026 could absolutely deliver a fully AI generated viral short film, something that makes people do a double take. But will it have that human spark of storytelling? That's where I'm not so sure yet.
Okay, well, it's not that big of a leap from going from a viral short to helping in political campaigns. Uh, I think AI is going to play an increasingly important role in politics next year. What do you think?
Now, that's a powder keg. And you're right. We're heading for a year where AI's role in politics is going to be massive. I'd argue the biggest impact might be behind the scenes micro targeted ads, AI generated speeches, that kind of thing. But a fully AI driven political campaign? Not next year, though it's creeping closer.
Creeping closer, yes, indeed. How long before we see an AI candidate run for office?
An AI candidate? My guess, at least a decade out before anyone seriously tries that. Next few years, though, we'll definitely see AI as the power behind the throne.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on. What about music? Music advanced a lot this year with AI, as did photography and image generation. Do you think that will continue next year? And if it does, where do you think it'll end up by the end of next year?
Oh, music's in for a wild ride. By the end of next year, I think we'll have AI co producing chart topping hits, maybe even a song where nobody can tell if the vocal are human or synthetic. And
Oh,
image generation? We're inching toward AI photographers making stock photos you can't distinguish from reality. It's going to blow every line in the arts.
okay. That's interesting. So also not that far away from the first AI hit novel, I suppose, right?
Exactly. I'd say we're one solid year away from an AI penned bestseller. The writing's on the wall, pun intended. The
Yeah, pun intended. Absolutely. Any other bold predictions for next year in terms of AI?
All right, one bold prediction. By the end of next year, we'll have an AI standing in as real time negotiator, handling tough business or legal back and forth in live conversations. Not perfect, but good enough to raise some eyebrows.
Wow, that's pretty astonishing.
Here's one more to chew on. I think 2026 might be the year we get the first AI generated scientific theory. Not just crunching data, but proposing something genuinely new. Whether humans accept it, different story.
Great. Well, with that, we'll check in with you other times of the year next year just to see how the predictions are going. Thank you very much for the call, and let's keep on talking.
Had a blast. Thanks for having me. Can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Anytime you want to chat, I'm in.
Thank you.